Welcome to the On the Pen, the Weekly Dose podcast, your one-stop shop for obesity medicine news with your host, man on the pen, Dave Knapp. Good morning and welcome to this special Wednesday morning live stream at On the Pen. I'm your host, Dave Knapp, man on the Manjaro. That's why I'm here. You are on the pen. Wegovy, Saxenda, Victoza, Trulicity, Manjaro, Zepbound, Compound, that pen. That's what we talk about. And today we've got some amazing news when it comes to data that may help bolster coverage for Zepbound and Wegovy, the obesity indications in GLP-1 medications. We're going to talk about it, but before we do, hit that like, hit that bell, hit that sub. And if you're over on Substack, we're over there too. Just search Dave Knapp, GLP-1, find us, get connected. We've got an article out about this already this morning, but check this out. We have always advocated here at On the Pen for talking to your employers, encouraging them to add obesity coverage, and the pushback is the data just doesn't show that these are affordable long-term. Well, covering GLP-1s isn't just the right thing to do. Now we have data that proves that it's the smart thing to do. We have data to back it up. So this week, Aon released the first workforce-centered analysis of its kind, and it could be the turning point that we've been waiting for. The findings are super clear in this data. When employers cover GLP-1 medications like Manjaro, Zepbound, Wegovy, Ozempic, and when they offer wraparound support like lifestyle coaching and nutrition counseling, they see a healthier workforce. And get this, here's the hook: lower overall costs. This wasn't just some vague claim about cost savings. The report specifically called out reductions. Get this, reductions in cardiovascular events, including heart attacks and strokes, which are among the most expensive and deadly consequences of obesity. Employers offering GLP-1 coverage saw fewer hospitalizations related to these conditions. They also saw fewer emergency room visits, fewer days missed from work, and increased productivity and better long-term health engagement from employees. That, my friends, is what real health transformation looks like. And the numbers are showing that the excuses for not covering these medications are finally running out. According to Aon, employers who provide both medication and support structure are seeing measurable improvements in biometric markers like blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol. In other words, they're not just watching the scale drop. They are observing in their data what those of us who have had the great fortune and benefit of taking these medications have experienced on an individual level. They're seeing this play out in the data. They're seeing lives change in ways that directly translate to reduced risk and reduced spend, because as you know, that is what everything comes down to, is the almighty dollar. So what makes this study different is that it takes the workforce lens. We already have studies that show that these medications reduce cardiovascular events. They improve outcomes for people living with heart failure. We have data that shows that 50% of people on tirzepatide with mild to moderate obstructive sleep apnea actually reverse their sleep apnea. 50% come off of their CPAP. We have data that already shows this, but we don't have data, or up until today, we didn't have data that came from the employee side. And so that is absolutely a game changer to get this data. So the data is obviously very clear. It's about whether this data will actually move the needle for business. And so I believe the answer to that is yes, because for years, the access to these medications has essentially been gated by whether or not your employer decided to include them, and their decision was usually related to the sticker shock. But the study sort of reframes the cost for your employer because these medications don't just reduce obesity. It's not just about a cosmetic issue and a large sticker shock price tag that go along with it. They reduce the downstream costs of living with obesity, and this shows it. If you're someone who's fighting for your employer, because again, for many people, that's where this conversation begins. It's with your HR person. It's with your benefits coordinator. If you're in a smaller company, it may be the owner. You take this data to them. If you're a benefits consultant, this is what you hand to your clients. If you're a policymaker or somebody who, like me, has been advocating on Capitol Hill, this is the argument you take there, because now we can say with confidence that the return on investment is real, not just in lives changed, which we've already been screaming from the mountaintops, but now in dollars saved. So share this report, use it as fuel, demand better from those who are the gatekeepers of access to GLP-1 medications, because they're no longer just experimental. They're no longer just fringe options for people. They're clinically proven, they're economically sound, and they're morally urgent. Absolutely morally urgent. So this is where you have to begin to advocate for yourself. You have to begin to take this message to the people that actually make these decisions. So I hope this information is beneficial. In the description of this video, we will link the article to our Substack. Within that Substack article, I cannot encourage you enough to go over and jump on Substack. All of the information that we put out will be living on Substack. It is the one-stop shop for all the content. But we will link the Aon article or report there, because I think this is huge fodder for you to be taking to benefits coordinators and employers, etc. If you found this video helpful, please share it somewhere. Just simply share it. Send it to somebody who might find this information beneficial, and we will catch you on the next one. Thanks for hanging out with me.